Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It's almost April and UGC NET English exam is just 2 months away. By now, I hope you are deep into your preparation. A huge part of UGC NET syllabus revolves around British English literature, and a majority of questions, they love to test your understanding of the chronology of the literary movements, key writers, vital works, and etc. So shall we do a quick and fun revision of British literature that would help you master the chronology-based questions? Today we are playing the British Literature Timeline Challenge. I'll be sharing key details about British authors and works which are frequently asked in UGC NET English exam, and you have to guess which British author or work was I talking about, and it was written or it was related to which literary period. Sounds simple? For instance, if I say that Charles Dickens wrote one novel which is of completely different genre than what he usually writes, it is incomplete and it is his last novel. I'll give you some 5 seconds or so to guess the correct answer, and then I'll mention the correct answer. The correct answer for this question is The Mystery of Edwin Drood, published in the Victorian period. See how it works? Now, grab a notebook, play along, and make sure to comment your score in the end. So the first question is related to a writer who is called as the father of English literature. But wait, that's not the complete question. The complete question is that he has also written a medieval romance in rhyme royal that explores courtly love, destiny, and fortune. Who is the author that I'm talking about? Which work published in which period? Take your time and write down your answers. By now, you already know that I'm talking about Geoffrey Chaucer. But the medieval romance written in rhyme royal? That is Troilus and Cresside. Troilus and Cresside is one of the most important works written by Geoffrey Chaucer, apart from the Canterbury Tales, written in rhyme royal, exploring themes related to courtly love, fortune, and destiny. It has also influenced later writers like Shakespeare. And in which period was it published? It was published in the 14th century, which is the Middle English period. The next question is related to an iconic playwright whose works dominate British literature. People still quote him today, and not just that. Questions related to his works and his life, they frequently appear in UGC NET English exam. Now, in the early 17th century, he wrote a play, specifically a tragedy, which explores the themes of unchecked ambition. The narrative is driven forward with a prophecy. Because of that, he commits regicide, he spirals down into tyranny, and it also involves the presence of some witches maybe. So, tell me, which iconic playwright am I talking about here? Which tragedy is it, and in which period was it published? The answer is Macbeth, written by William Shakespeare in the Elizabethan age. Macbeth was first performed in 1606, and it is one of Shakespeare's most influential tragedies. When we talk about Macbeth, especially the character, it was his unchecked ambition that led to his downfall. And the presence of the three witches, they signify the supernatural elements, but at the same time, they also signify fate and manipulation. The next question is related to a poet, a scholar, also called as a Renaissance man, a soldier, and a courtier. He's all of these things. But one of the most interesting facts that I find about this writer is that during his lifetime, all the works that he wrote were not published. They were only published after his death. And one of these works was also considered to be the earliest contributions to English literary criticism, wherein he described the differences between poetry, history, and philosophy, and also considered poetry to be the highest form of art. Who is this writer? Which work I'm really talking about, and it was published in which period? Take a moment, write down the answers. The correct answer is Sir Philip Sidney. Sir Philip Sidney was the Renaissance man, and he published an apology for poetry, which is considered to be the foundational text in literary criticism, published in Elizabethan age. Moving on to the next question. This question is related to a poet who has written one of the greatest epic poems in English literature. This particular work deals with the themes of fate versus free will, divine justice, at the same time fall of the man. He wrote this poem while he was blind and politically exiled. Name the poet, the work he wrote, and in which period did he belong to? The correct answer is John Milton, and the work that we were really talking about over here is Paradise Lost. It is his masterpiece, his monumental work of Christian epic poetry, published during the Commonwealth period, also known as the Puritan period or Interregnum. It has influenced later writers and poets of the Romantic Age and even modern age. Enough with the male writers. Let's focus on some female writers, shall we? The next question is related to one of the first professional female writers in England. She is also considered to be one of the very first English women to earn her living by writing, and she is also believed to have acted as a spy in Antwerp. Who is she? Ready for the answer? The correct answer is Aphra Behn. Aphra Behn is considered to be one of the trailblazing female writers, often dealt with the themes of gender roles and satire and all of these things in her works. In fact, her novel Orinoco is an early critique of slavery. There is another playwright who often writes under the category of comedy and contributes to this literary genre, which is characterized by witty dialogues, satirical takes on marriages, and exposes aristocratic hypocrisy. He has written one of the most important plays in English literature, which features characters like Mirabell and Miramont. Now, name the playwright, the play he wrote in which these characters appear, and the age in which he wrote this. Ready for the answer? The correct answer is William Congreve, who wrote The Way of the World and was published in 1700. The drama features characters like Mirabell, Miramont, and it's extremely complex, but yes, very, very funny in terms of the witty dialogues, the social critique, and the satire, and how the marriage basically takes place. As far as the literary period or literary age is concerned, if you have written Restoration Age, Neoclassical Age, or Augustan Age, that's completely fine. How's the score looking so far, guys? I hope that it's good. Right, let's move on to the next poet or the writer. Now, this writer is a poet whose works were initially met with harsh criticism, especially by literary periodicals like Quarterly Review and Blackwood's Magazine. Not just that, a lot of people speculate that it was because of this harsh criticism which contributed to his declining health and untimely death in the age of 25. Not just that, he is chiefly remembered for his odes, which explore the themes of truth and beauty. Who is he? I think this should be a bit easy if you've watched my other videos. The correct answer is John Keats. John Keats belonged to the second generation of Romantic poets along with P.B. Shelley and Lord Byron. Not just that, when we talk about his work, which was specifically Endymion, it was harshly criticized by these literary periodicals that I just mentioned. A lot of people do believe that it was because of these harsh criticisms that his health worsened, but actually he succumbed to tuberculosis. Today, he is famously known for his ode, which is Ode to a Grecian Urn, in which there is this famous line in English literature, which is, "Beauty is truth, truth, beauty, that is all you know on earth and all you need to know." Now, the next one is a bit complicated if you do not know the context. So, it is about this writer or a poet who wrote a work in response to one of the most infamous massacres in British history. It is considered to be one of the most political works in the history of English literature. It calls for political resistance against oppression and ends with one of the most famous lines, which is, "You are many, they are few." Name the poet or the writer who wrote this work. What is the title of the work? To which massacre was he responding to? And the age in which he was writing. Quite a few many questions. You can take a few more moments for this one. Ready for it? The correct answer is P.B. Shelley. The work that we were talking about was The Mask of Anarchy, and the massacre that it was responding to was the Peterloo Massacre of 1819, where British cavalry, they brutally attacked the peaceful protesters. The closing line, "You are many, they are few," has inspired a lot of social justice movements, making Shelley not just a romantic poet of beauty and imagination, but also of revolution and reform. Moving on to the next writer. This one is a poet who has written a long elegy mourning for his best friend's death and has also become a poet laureate of England. Now, he wrote one of the most famous poems in English literature, which constitutes the line, "To strive, to see, to find and not to yield," which has also been featured in James Bond's film Skyfall. So, who is this poet and in which work of his does this line appear and in which age did he write? Are you ready for the answer? The correct answer is Alfred Lord Tennyson, and this particular line, which was "to strive, to see, to find and not to yield," appears in his most famous poem Ulysses, and he wrote in the Victorian age. The next writer is one of the most important writers of English literature. He wrote works in a serialized manner, and his works basically dealt with the themes of class struggles, child labor, and at the same time the social struggles. He wrote this one novel which is considered to be a Bildungsroman, at the same time very, very autobiographical. It basically follows this journey of an orphan who is working in a wine bottling factory, and through this entire journey, he is exposing again the class struggles and criticizes industrial England. Who is this writer? Which work am I really talking about over here? The correct answer is Charles Dickens, and the novel that I was talking about was David Copperfield. Through Copperfield's struggle, Dickens wanted to shed light on child labor, on the harsh struggles of the Victorian society. The next question is related to a critic and a poet who dismissed one of Shakespeare's most influential tragedies on the grounds of calling it an artistic failure. He said that the play's central character lacked an objective correlative, a term that he coined to describe the external situations, to talk more about the deep, intense emotions. So, name the critic who said this and the essay in which he talked about objective correlative. Ready for an answer? The correct answer is T.S. Eliot, and in his essay Hamlet and His Problems, he called Hamlet to be an artistic failure. He also coined the term objective correlative, suggesting that in literature, strong emotions must be evoked through external symbols or events. T.S. Eliot's Hamlet and His Problems is still debated today. Like him, there is also another writer who faced immense controversy when he published a novel, which basically dealt with a lot of explicit themes and candid exploration of eroticism and class struggles. It was initially banned in multiple countries upon its initial publication and was also a subject of obscenity trial decades later after its publication. Name the writer, the novel that he wrote, and the age in which he wrote. Ready for an answer? The correct answer is D.H. Lawrence, who wrote and published Lady Chatterley's Lover in the Modern Age. Lady Chatterley's Lover was extremely scandalous during its time because it dealt with this passionate love affair between an upper-class woman and her working-class lover. It dealt with a lot of themes, including industrialization, class struggles, as well as the emotional sterility of the upper class. It was banned in several countries, including Britain, the US, and so many other countries, only gaining legal approval after the obscenity trial in 1960. And finally, now we are moving on to the last question of this British Literature Timeline Challenge. It is basically related to a writer of the theatre of the absurd literary movement, wherein his plays are characterized by unsettling pauses, cryptic dialogues, and this weird sense of threat lurking beneath the surface. One of his plays specifically is characterized under the category of comedy of menace, wherein a man is hiding in a seaside boarding house and his life is completely disrupted by the arrival of two mysterious men who subject him to psychological torment. Who is this playwright? Which play am I really talking about over here, and published in which age? Ready for an answer? The correct answer is Harold Pinter and his play The Birthday Party. The play is often characterized by Pinter's signature use of unsettling pauses, fragmented dialogue, and underlying menace, which leaves the audience questioning between reality and fiction, hallmarks of the postmodern drama. Yes, this play was produced in the postmodern age, one of the most frequently asked ages, literary ages, in UGC NET English exam. With this, we end our British Literature Timeline Challenge. How many did you get it right, guys? Comment your score below. And if you're not happy with your score, or your score wasn't that right, or it wasn't satisfactory, then don't worry. You can get a full detailed British literature breakdown in my live UGC NET English literature classes. In my live classes, I am covering the history of British literature, Indian English literature, and literary theories in a very detailed and comprehensive manner. From literary analysis to literary theories and literary period breakdown, you've got everything covered. The best part about these sessions is that these are live one-on-one sessions, which means that I can provide you personalized guidance tailored to your needs, requirements, and schedule, trying to fill the possible gaps in your UGC NET English exam preparation. I have shared all the details regarding all the courses I provide in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. That's it for today's video, folks. If you found this video informative and helpful, please like it and share it with other UGC NET English aspirants as well. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any videos that I will be uploading on UGC NET English exam in the future. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next one.